Hello, everyone. Today I'm with the amazing Kate McGuire, and she has a business called Converted Closet. And it's an amazing project. And she's going to tell you a bit more of her new project that she has on top of Converted Clothes. But basically, is if you have a piece of clothing in your wardrobe that you love so much, either because it's a family heirloom or it's a vintage piece you love, or something you spend a lot of money, but it just doesn't look good because either it's too big or too small or just doesn't fit right, then you must listen to today's episode. Welcome, Kate.
Hello,
How are
good
you?
to be here. I'm so well. Well, thank you.
I'm so glad to have you on today's podcast. And I would like you to ask you so many questions. So let me start with, what exactly do you do? Could you explain to us what's your business about?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I love to meditate, and I sit on my cushion first thing every morning. It's just the most important part of my day. And for some reason the other day, maybe it's just the environment we're in now, it just started thinking, what am I? It's like quite a deep question for first thing in the morning, but who am I? What am I doing? What's my purpose? And I thought, you know what, I'm a conversion designer. I'm a sustainable fashion activist, and I'm an entrepreneur. And I think I'm my overall is basically a kind of uplifter, inspirer. I feel like that's my kind of purpose. So there's multifold, but essentially I would say activist, designer. That's really it.
Awesome. Because when I went on your website, I check all your videos, and it's amazing the transformation you give to all these women. And the one I loved the most was Eleanor. So because it's like she had these pieces, vintage, she loved very much, but they didn't look good on it. I don't know who will look good with that shape.
Yeah.
And then
right.
You did some transformation, you did that, and now she has two pieces that she can mix and match, and she was looking so great. She was looking gorgeous, something that was flattering to her figure, and she was happy already. I'm getting goosebumps just mentioning it. But there are so many other transformations.
That was the very, very first film I ever made. I've never been on camera. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right?
I was
like
amazing.
I made it was just I had like my film, I had crew of kind of students, like 18-year-olds, and we were like in this tiny flat moving suitcases from one side to the other because we kind of only had like one, I think I had one camera. We had to, it was just like, if you could have seen what went on behind the scenes. But it just goes to show that the emotion, it didn't really matter what was going on. It was all about what we could create and how we could make Eleanor feel. The power of transformation was just palpable. It was so exciting. It didn't really matter what it looked like. It happened to look really good, and we were like, okay, let's make another one of these. But yeah, it was a really fun experience watching somebody light up like that.
Yes. And also, like, another one that really was surprising was the woman with the grandmother. I can't remember her name. With the grandmother, beautiful piece
Victoria.
Of yes.
Yeah.
That you made a sweat. That was amazing transformation. It looks so fancy and so particular because you do things and you make them so special, and you every time you seem to catch the character, the personality of the person. How do you do that?
So do you mean the person that I'm converting?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a bit my background. I was a headhunter, so I was in banking, and then I moved into headhunting, and I think probably just a bit of who I am as well. But I do feel I can kind of read people. I think I get a sense of who they are and what their natural edges and limitations are, and kind of who they want to be. But that involves a conversation. You have to get to know somebody when you're doing a conversion. I'm just not one of those people who comes along and goes, okay, so you've got a great waist, you need to wear this, you need to wear that. That just doesn't work as far as I'm concerned, because how can I possibly know what makes somebody feel good in what they're wearing? It's innate. It's working with somebody, and I like to push people to their edge. Everybody has an edge. And I hear a lot, I can't wear that, or I'd love to be able to wear that, I just can't. I think people always, I get the impression that people feel that they'd like to express themselves more than they're confident enough to do through their clothes. So I find that really fun, that challenge, to kind of take them to a place where they maybe wouldn't have done, and then let them just light up and be like, oh my God, this is kind of where I want to go. It's power. There's power in that. So it's a joy to be part of that process.
I absolutely agree. I have found myself that when I feel brave and happy, it's so easy to wear something that will attract attention. That this is my personality, that is out of there's something original and out something weird maybe, or something just very colorful. And when we feel a lack of confidence, we tend to dress like everybody else so we can merge in. It's easier to, I find that clothing is a very way to show up in the world, and how we show up can tell a lot about our personality. And it's easier to wear clothes that may be black and blue, that make you go like, I can merge with everybody else, so don't look at me, but sometimes we like to have that thing. And when we can wear something that is our personality, that feels so amazing, that is like, this is me, take it or leave it. I love that.
Yeah, I think it's about feeling good about who you are. Basically, that's all we really want, isn't it? To feel good about who we are, and that clothing is our first impression that we make. It's the first impression we make to ourselves when we look in the mirror, and we live in a very visual world. So I think it for me, people say to me, God, why do you put makeup on every day and you dress up? And I just think, well, why wouldn't I? Like, I can have a better day because of that. For myself, I can look in the mirror and feel like I've been put together. I can go outside down to the shop and bump into anyone I know and just feel good about how I'm presenting myself. And I believe that, the outsides and insides are so intrinsically linked that, I can help my insides by just feeling put together on the outside, and the same goes for the other way.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And as a mindset and behavior expert, I can confirm that it's been scientifically proven that what we wear affect our moods, also colors.
So what can you talk about that? I'm really curious.
Basically, it's like they say, for example, that we should prepare the clothes the day before, in a moment we are feeling good. Because if we prepare them in the morning, we're going to go with the mood, which is always usually like, I'm feeling so grumpy, I need to go to work, and you're going with the safe options. So you will go with the gray, blue, black, blah, blah. Instead, if you prepare the clothes and you're diligent enough to wear those clothes that you prepare when you are feeling in a good mood, most likely you're going to feel good. Because it's like colors, for example, make you feel more happy.
Just a vibration, isn't it?
Yes. And also, I guess when you look in the mirror, it's like you're wearing some red or bright yellow. It's like, colors do affect our moods. In fact, there are people who work with color therapy,
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely something that works. And also, as you said, you like to dress up every day, because I can't see anybody wearing old leggings with holes and being happy. It's like, that's something, you're wearing old clothes with holes and stuff. How can you be like, oh, I'm feeling great, but I have holes in my leggings?
Well, I will slightly challenge that, because I think this is really interesting. I find this is crunchy for me. Just to take your holes in the leggings thing. Okay, so I think we're living in the whole mindset shift is changing so much. And I think we're moving into a time where if like holes in leggings can be celebrated and be cool. And I think that's all part of the movement that I feel I'm into. Obviously, we know I'm all about creating high-end pieces because I want to elevate the movement and appeal to the people at the top of the fashion chain, because that's how it infiltrates. But it's really interesting, because I would have said that, I would have agreed with you like, a few years ago, and now I'm like, honestly, the first thing that came into my head was, oh my God, I'm so cool. I've kept these leggings and I've worn them so much that they've now got holes in them. Do you know what I mean?
I like
Interesting.
that.
It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I do have a pair of leggings that I kept that are hot fuchsia, very nice, and they have two holes on the knee because one of my dogs was a puppy. She liked to pull my legs through the leggings. So as I miss my dogs so much, they're with ex abroad, and I miss them so much. That is, whenever I wear those leggings, I miss her, and it reminds me, oh, that was a happy moment of my life. But I'd never wear them outside. But
how about, could you do something to convert them into something else? Or could you, okay, this might sound a bit naff, but this came into my head. Like, I'm thinking kind of Gucci kitsch. Like, there are so many incredible kind of little badges that you can buy now on Etsy and eBay, and like tiny little sequin doggy patches. And you know, I mean, it sounds naff, but if the leggings are black and then you find a little black dog, you know, it's just kind of, to me, if I see that, I just think that's cool. Like, it's a very personal expression, and I really admire that in anybody. It doesn't really, to me, it doesn't necessarily matter what it looks like, but if they're wearing leggings and they're happy and they've got this like little, like, you could cover up the hole if the hole offends you and just put something else that's relevant, and just team them with like an ultra cool blazer and a pair of, you know, I mean, it's really bizarre what you can do when you use other things to elevate. So, but think around holes. There are all sorts of things you can do with a hole. Anyway, I'm going to go off on a tangent on doggy patches now, which wasn't where I was going to go. But yeah, I think within there's always an opportunity for conversion, always.
I love that. While you were saying about the thing about Etsy, I was thinking about a book I listened some time ago, Marie Kondo, Spark Joy, that she say, if you love something that is broken, keep it, make something else with it.
Yeah, a belt. I mean, honestly, leggings make amazing belts.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, because it's all very elastic.
And not naff ones. I'm not like talking about, oh, sticker, you know, that looks really homemade. Doesn't have to look homemade. It's the way you do it. You know, if you cut the leg off, you could cut a strip off, you could double side it, you could interface it, you could put a really amazing gross grain ribbon pleat along both sides, you could buy a vintage buckle on Etsy, you know, and then just put it all together, or an amazing brooch, put it all around you, and then fasten it at the back with a brooch. But just there, you know, it's just about getting creative with things. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
And you're looking like stunned. I'm not sure.
No. I'm like, I love creativity, and I'm like, I'm not very creative, but I love this concept that I never thought about that. That's amazing. But can I ask you, how did you manage to get from headhunting in banking, which is not very creative, to become a creative where you revamp clothes? What's your...
Well, first of all, I just have to, I'm being a bit challenging this morning, and I don't know why, but I think it's interesting, stimulating conversation. I really believe that every human being is innately creative. Like, we are all, to be human is to be creative. And I think we're all creative in different ways, and we sometimes judge people for being, you know, if they're artistic, then they're creative. But I see accountants are creative with numbers. You know, everybody's creative in their own world. If you start analyzing how clever you are and, you know, manipulating things, that's creativity. So you can translate that way of thinking. And I'm really passionate about, I really want to kind of get everybody feeling creative and just tapping into the beginning. You know, maybe you don't see yourself as a creative person, but you are. So I think there's like, get in touch with the smallest part of you. Identify something very small where you are a bit creative. Like, oh, I choose my earrings every morning, and I'm quite good about, you know, making sure that I wear the belt, or I like to match my shoes with whatever. Okay, so you start there, and then you start really celebrating that bit about yourself. you will find that you